If I'm easy work, I heard him say I'm easy work. If I was easy work, well, you would take all that money that he's offering you. But yet and still, he want 200 million for Benavidez, and he want 150 million to fight me. So that just lets me know right there that I'm a threat to him.
Maybe someone's reacted to that news. I don't know, or maybe it just fell through. No. But it sounds to me that the move to fight Jake Paul has just maybe derailed the other fight. But I don't blame Canelo Alvarez, because financially, the bigger fight is Canelo-Jake Paul. Yeah. Because in that fight, you've got two big stars. Yeah. In the other fight, you've got two great fighters and one big star.
Terence Crawford is furious with Canelo Alvarez for allegedly calling off their much-anticipated expected battle. Canelo and Crawford were in extensive talks with Ring magazine, which first reported that an agreement had been reached for a major bout in Nevada this autumn. However, the same public now asserts that the agreement has fallen through because both parties are still unhappy with the conditions. As Ring magazine tweeted the schedule, a startling development has revealed that the bout between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford is no longer taking place. Jake Paul, a YouTuber who turned boxer, is receiving a lot of criticism for the fight's sudden ending. Peep Games declared it's official in a tweet on X. Saul Canelo Alvarez dodged repeatedly, pound for pound. Terence Bud Crawford Canelo is currently the biggest duck of all time and the undisputed biggest coward in boxing history. Duration: the financial force behind Canelo and Crawford's fight, Alec, has been outspoken in his disapproval of Jake Paul's involvement in boxing as the mastermind of Riyadh season matchups. He has frequently stated his belief that YouTubers entering the ring are undermining the sport's integrity, and many fans believe that Canelo's rumored tune-up match with a social media star was a major factor in the fight's derailment.
And Terence Crawford, who should be a big star, but the reality is isn't. He's just an unbelievable fighter. So, listen, everything can change overnight, as you saw.
Yeah,
absolutely. So don't rule out Canelo Crawford, but as I'm hearing, Canelo-Jake Paul is done. And I get it. Yeah, I'll watch it.
Mad old game. Eddie, always a pleasure, mate. Really appreciate the time.
Listen, buck up your ideas.
Terence Crawford is furious with Canelo Alvarez for allegedly calling off their highly anticipated duel. In a shocking turn of events, Canelo and Crawford were in the midst of negotiations with Ring magazine, which first reported that an agreement had been reached for a big fight in Nevada this fall. However, the public now claims the deal has fallen through because both sides are still unhappy with the terms, as Ring magazine tweeted that the planned fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford is now off the ring. Jake Paul, a former YouTuber who is now a boxer, is receiving harsh criticism over the fight's abrupt downfall. Peep Games tweeted on X, saying it's official: Saul Canelo Alvarez ducked #1 pound for pound Terence, but Crawford Canelo is now the undisputed biggest coward in boxing history, the biggest duck of all time. Canelo. Many fans suspect that Canelo's rumored tune-up match with a social media star played a major role in derailing the bout. Turkey Alec, the financial force behind securing Canelo and Crawford, has been vocal about his disapproval of Jake Paul's presence in boxing as the mastermind of Riyadh season matchups. He has repeatedly expressed his belief that YouTubers stepping into the ring are undermining the integrity of the sport, and Terence Crawford, who ought to be a huge star but is actually just an incredible fighter. So listen, everything can change overnight, as you witnessed, so don't rule out Canelo Crawford. However, from what I've heard, Canelo-Jake Paul is done, and I understand, so yes, I'll watch it. Eddie, is always a pleasure, buddy, and I truly appreciate your time. Oh, okay. Some people think that Canelo's willingness to amuse the highly anticipated super middleweight clash negotiations were derailed in large part by Paul. Fans demanded that Canelo challenge IBF title holder William Skull in an attempt to regain his undisputed super middleweight title. A showdown would have set the stage for two future Hall of Famers to compete for all four belts, which is very different from the spectacle of a man whose last victory came at the expense of a 58-year-old Mike Tyson. On X, Canelo Lesnar stated that while it's yet unclear why was Canelo versus Crawford canceled, after Bud's harsh remarks for Teofimo Lopez, many insiders are guessing that a straightforward response would have started the argument. Before himself, Canelo demands that T.O. be Crawford's next opponent. In addition to defeating Israel Madrimov at the stadium, Crawford also received a lengthy cry from a former Disney kid actress. Though there isn't any proof that talks have ever taken place, the internet has been ablaze with rumors of a potential confrontation between Canelo and Paul. Global boxing news has avoided the gossip mill. But when the Crawford fight was moved from T-Mobile Arena to the Raiders' home field, the scene changed. In today's world, anything is possible, but it is highly unlikely that a four-division champion with WBO, WBA, and WBC titles would face Paul at this point in his career. What would Canelo stand to gain from such a matchup? And would a fight like this even attract a crowd in Las Vegas, a city that prides itself on showcasing boxing at its best? In this digital age, even casually testing the waters for a fight can have real-world repercussions, frequently to the detriment of all parties involved. Boxing fans are left feeling let down and angry after rumors of a possible super fight between Canelo and Crawford were dispelled. The eagerly awaited bout between two of the sport's biggest stars had fans giddy with anticipation. But the most recent information has caused a wave of criticism from the boxing community, with many voicing their displeasure with how things transpired. One fan expressed their frustration, saying that such fights are frequently handled poorly and that boxing is a joke. Sometimes a deal is announced too soon without the necessary documents signed. This comment reflects a rising mood among boxing fans who are fed up with premature announcements and broken promises that never lead to genuine fights. Given how infrequent it is to see undisputed champions from various weight classes square off in the ring, this disappointment is understandable. Another fan bemoaned the emotional roller coaster of getting excited only to be let down, adding that the hope of seeing history was quickly replaced with frustration. Some fans continued the discussion by highlighting the tremendous amount of support Terence Crawford had gotten in fictitious bouts. One fan claimed that there was an overwhelming amount of support for Crawford to prevail. After his previous dominating wins, Canelo Crawford solidified his position as the greatest pound-for-pound fighter. While some thought he may have posed a real threat to Canelo, others conjectured that contractual issues might have contributed to the fight's cancellation. This fan conjectured that Canelo saw the fine print and the contract said that the winner had to face Novowitz. This conjecture relates to super middleweight fighter David Novowitz, who is known for his aggressive style and constant pressure. A mandatory fight with Novowitz could present serious risks for either fighter, adding another level of complexity to the possible deal. While some fans saw the cancellation as bad news, others think it might have been best for Crawford. This fan included. With the Canelo bout cancellation, Crawford avoided a bullet. The man can't cut to 168, and accepting that money grab would have only damaged his reputation. Let's face it, even though Crawford is unquestionably a generational talent, some believe that remaining in his natural weight class could preserve Crawford's legacy because the risk was far greater than the reward. Moving up to 168 pounds to take on an experienced super middleweight like Canelo would have been a monumental challenge. Although reports had suggested that negotiations for the Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford megafight were making real progress, it now appears that the historic bout between these two pound-for-pound legends may not materialize for all the precise reasons. This isn't the news boxing fans were hoping for, especially after such a long and eager wait. For a brief moment, it felt like anticipation would finally give way to reality. Behind the fight's cancellation have yet to be confirmed, however, the significant weight disparity between Crawford and Alvarez had been a major point of contention. Many experts and former champions expressed concerns about Crawford's decision to move up two weight classes. David Benovitz entered the picture. Maybe it was time. In an interview with Ariel Helwani, David Benovitz, who secured a victory in the title eliminator against Morrell, shared his preference for Dimitri Bivol. Ben Aids believes that if Bivol, who famously defeated Canelo Alvarez 2 years ago, emerges triumphant in this title match, it would considerably strengthen his standing in the division.